What's up, everybody? I'm Dan Martell, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. In this episode, I want to talk to you about how to lead your team, the editor versus the author, so that you can better scale your business. And be sure to stay to the end where I'm going to share with you how to get access to my precision scorecard framework to help you get better visibility and keep your team on track from a metrics and KPI point of view. So a few years ago, I was on a kind of a mini speaking tour in Toronto. We were doing a few accelerators and a big tech event with Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter and Square. And that was my first time. I actually met Jack in the past at different events in San Francisco, but that was the first time that I actually got to spend time with him because, you know, we actually spoke at these different events, and in between we actually jumped on a plane to go from Waterloo to Toronto. So we got to hang out, you know, next to each other on the bus transfer around the university, et cetera. It was a lot of fun. He's a very quiet guy. He's very thoughtful. But one of the things that's interesting for me is I'm always, you know, at a certain point in business, there's levels of skill that you need to learn to just build a business, from marketing to sales to building the product to delivering to hiring, all that stuff, financial knowledge and acumen. But at a level, you know, up from there is really about just like working through people and understanding how to lead teams. So I was really interested in a guy like Jack, who ran $2 billion companies at the exact same time, how he thought about leadership. And I was really pleasantly surprised that he shared some of his philosophies. And one of them that's really stayed with me to this day is the idea of author versus editor. And since then, in learning those strategies, it's had a profound impact on the way I show up for my team, the way that I communicate with them so that I can get results from my team and not feel like I'm always the creator. And that's what I want to go through in this video to help you really understand the nuances to get to the next level of business growth in your company. Number one, define the outcome. So one of the things that Jack mentioned is really being clear on where you want to go. I think that understanding describing the mountaintop, the problem you want to right in the world, or the wrong you want to right or the world, you know, your mission statement, your vision, those are the things that are really outcome focused. And that, as a CEO and a founder, is your responsibility to over communicate with your team. So if you don't feel like you've done that, take a step back and really ask yourself, have we talked about how we're going to disrupt this market? Have we talked about what does this look like when the problem is solved, right? Have we discussed, Jack used this great analogy of designing the bridge, right? And he used the Golden Gate Bridge, of this incredible, monumental building that is a figure and a representation of what's possible, right? And the people involved in building it, and the fact that every year they got to continuously paint it. I guess it's like they don't stop painting it, it just keeps having to get painted because it's so large. But to make sure that it continues to be this icon of an example of possibilities. And I like that outcome is kind of the language he used to describe it, so that you can really get your team to think way further into the future. Number two, let them author. So one of the core ideas, the thing that really resonated with me was this, is that he looks as his role is not the author, the creator, the writer of the book, the business, the strategy, but more of the editor. His role, he explains it, is for my team to create and bring to me the finished product, or directionally speaking, kind of where they want to go, or how they want to approach something, or what they're creating. And for him to just be, to give some guidance and ask questions, it'll help them get clear and really edit. You know, if you think about authoring a book and then hiring an editor, really editing. So the essence is still there, but what you're doing is you're removing stuff. And I mean, that's Jack's approach, but I think of Steve Jobs and his relationship with Johnny Ive. I feel like they probably had the exact same relationship, where Johnny was the author of all these innovations and the form factors and the designs. And then Steve really came in as the editor to review it and challenge some of the assumptions and provide some critique to remove things, to simplify things so that it could stay true to the vision. And that, to me, is just, as a leader, think for yourself, Are you authoring all the time, or are you allowing your teams to author and you edit? That's a big question. Number 3, sort. I think one of the most important tools and things that you need to teach your team is how to sort, and more importantly, how to prioritize. At the end of the day, the way I think about it, and that's why I call it growth stacking, is it's not about the strategies themselves, it's about the sequence that we put them in, right? Sequencing equals success. So for example, I can have a founder over here and a different founder over here, give them the same list of things they could do to be successful. One founder executes it in this order, the other one executes it in the reverse order. This founder succeeds and crushes it, this one fails after 16 months, completely goes broke. Why? Same strategies. The reason why is there's certain things that need to be done this week versus next month versus next quarter versus next year versus never, because they don't make sense for the context of your business. So what you need to do as a leader is understand how to communicate the prioritization matrix for your team to essentially evaluate different strategies and come to the best conclusion in regards to what's next for your business without you being involved in that, right? Recently, we were meeting with the founding team at HubSpot, and one of the guys said in the meeting was that I've never met a 2x2 matrix that I didn't love. What he was saying by that I really appreciated was in drawing a 2x2 matrix, right? And if you've ever seen the Eisenhower matrix, you know, urgent, important, and it's like 2x2, not urgent, not important, etc. And it kind of, what it does is it gives a mental model for your team to understand how to make decisions, right? How to put certain decisions in different categories and to make the decisions on their own. So I always think about that when I think of like, have I properly communicated to my team, you know, how to make the right decisions, how to sort through a list of options, and really clearly communicated a mental model for them to come to those conclusions on their own. Number 4, the 1-3-1 rule. I got to give full credit to my buddy Brad Pedersen. He is an incredible entrepreneur. He built a toy company of all things. It was so funny. Real quick side story. I met him in an airport first time. He asked me if I had kids. He said he'd send me a package. A month later, I get back from a trip. I show up, there's this box, and there was more Paw Patrol toys in that box than we would give our kids for Christmas. And that was Brad. That was just the kind of guy he was. He literally created a 9-figure a year toy company, ended up exiting it, and is one of the people that when I think about leadership, literally spending any time with Brad, is a master class in just operations and leadership. And one of the strategies just recently, we were spending some time on snow bikes. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but you should. We were snow biking out west in British Columbia. And one of my buddies, Nick, asked him about, you know, what do you do in these situations when you have managers coming to you with all these challenges? How do you help them make their own decisions? And his response was the 1-3-1 rule. Then the way it works is simple. 1 issue, 3 options, 1 recommendation. So no matter what, because this is what happens often, I don't know if you've experienced this, but it literally happened to me yesterday with one of my team members, is we were talking about a problem, and then all of a sudden they introduced another problem. So I was like, hey, let's focus on one problem at a time. And they were like, yeah, but. And I was like, yeah, I know, but we won't get a solution if we keep changing focus. Okay, boom, started the conversation again. Guess what? Boom, another problem. Okay, let's stop doing that, okay? And then it was like, all right, here's the rule. 1 problem, 3 options, your recommendations. List all the problems that you think you have. Follow the 1-3-1 rule. Send me an email with them, and we'll get on a call and review them and pick the one, right? Because like that to me is just so much more efficient and really pushes the heavy lifting on your team members. Another strategy I'm going to throw out there since we're on this topic. I read in a book recently called The Trillion Dollar Coach, the story about Bill Campbell, an incredible book. If you really want to learn how to coach teams perform better, not just how to be a better coach or be a better leader, this is the book, okay? It was written by Eric Schmidt from Google, and Bill Campbell literally coached Google, Intuit, was on the board at Apple, worked with Steve Jobs, etc. He was somebody that not a lot of people knew about, and luckily, they sat down to write this book in honor of Bill because he would have personally never written this book. So you must read it if you're in the tech space. And one of the ideas that he shares, that Eric wrote about, that Bill does in the book very often, is when there's issues, like challenges, he'll often get somebody that he knows that knows how to solve problems really well to partner with the person that's struggling. So in a meeting, he'll say, hey, Jane, can you partner with Mark I'd love for you guys to talk this week and come back next week with some recommendations. And this is cross-functional. Why? So powerful, because what it does is it allows two people from different teams to connect, to really understand, to add value and teach maybe a different perspective or lens to look at the problem, to learn some new tools about how to think through it and come up with solutions, and then create that trust and create that relationship. And if you do that maybe every couple of weeks with different team members on your team, then guess what? You're not the one doing it. They're doing it, which is a huge opportunity to get leverage and really lead the team, not tell them what to do. So the 1-3-1 rule, Brad, appreciate that one. It meant a lot. And be sure to get that book. Number 5, coach to success. This is really the concept of transformational leadership. If you Google on my YouTube channel, you will find me talk about this process, because I think a lot of first-time founders, early CEOs really make the mistake of doing it the wrong way. But transformational leadership is the idea, there's 3 different things, but the big thing is coach to success, meaning that as a leader, when you start building your executive leadership team, and all of a sudden you have somebody running marketing, customer success, and product, and engineering, and sales, etc., you need to almost be really clear about what their outcomes are, measure where they're going, and how you're going to measure their success, and really help coach them. What does that mean? Get them the resources, put them through the drills, get them the training, build the accountability, reset, go back to basics. Like, think what a great football coach might do, or a great business coach might do, and use that approach. Because I think too often when we're working with our team members, we can get emotional or frustrated in the situation. And trust me, this guy right here is guilty of that. But I'm always asking myself, whenever those moments happen, I got too attached to the outcome emotionally, and I was like, oh, that wasn't cool. I always step back and I say, okay, if they were a coaching client, how would I have approached that scenario? And that is a much better frame and lens to use to approach those problems, because in that we're supporting the team. Now, at the end of the day, if they don't perform, if they aren't able to step up and lead that area of the business, obviously make a change. But in helping them, you want to coach them to succeed. So quick recap, how to become the editor, not the author, to really lead your team to scale your business. Number 1, define the outcome. Number 2, let them author. Number 3, sort. Really teach them to prioritize. Number 4, the 1-3-1 rule. And number 5, coach to success. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I want to share with you a really powerful framework called the Precision Scorecard that I use every week with my team, that I coach to my clients. It's a must deploy into their business to really get visibility into their current state of their numbers and make sure they're making progress week over week and quarter after quarter in really, truly many areas of the business. There's 6 core functions, but most importantly, to increase their MRR, their monthly recurring revenue. So you can click the link below to get your copy of that workbook, the Precision Scorecard. Let me know in the comments if you deploy it and how it worked for you. If you like this video, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new. If there's anybody that you care about, that you feel like this could serve, feel free to share with them directly. And as per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday.
Teeth, you haven't eaten anything, but your buttons are good?